From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We dealt with some rain showers and some snow showers today. Pretty big flakes from some of those snow showers, in fact, but that is moving out to a certain extent. There's a little more activity to the west. And Brooklyn, how about that? In Jackson County, 1 inch of wet snowfall today. Fortunately, temperatures were well above freezing, so it didn't cause any major problems. We're currently at 35 Lansing, 36 in Jackson, now at 36 degrees as well. As we move into the overnight hours, there's a little more moisture out there, and that could lead to a snow shower, maybe a raindrop during the overnight hours, but temperatures should be generally above freezing, so don't anticipate any major problems out there. Mild weather is on the way. We've got some rain chances and a few flakes of snow in the forecast as well. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 6.
We're not going to touch it. Words from President Donald Trump about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security as the U.S. House passes its budget bill, but many have grave concerns. It's our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Sherry Jones has the night off. The Republican budget bill calls on the Energy and Commerce Committee to find $880 billion in savings. That committee oversees Medicaid, and while Republican leaders say Medicaid is not specifically mentioned in the budget bill, Democrats claim cost cutting on such a large scale will almost certainly affect Medicaid. And that has local organizations concerned about the future of mental health care here in Michigan. Our Zach Priest spoke with a local organization worried it might be harder to access care in the future. He's here for you now with more. Zach?
Thanks. The budget resolution includes $4.5 trillion in tax breaks, as well as $2 trillion in cuts on spending. The resolution narrowly passed on the floor yesterday with 217 votes for and 215 votes against. President Trump approves of the bill. The committee tasked with overseeing the budget that includes Medicaid won't have a lot of wiggle room to work with if they're going to make massive cuts. Critics are afraid it could end up chopping the program by up to $880 billion over 10 years. And this would be problematic for the more than 2.5 million Michigan residents relying on Medicaid as of a year ago. And many of them are dealing with mental illness. Local mental health advocates fear some will lose their independence.
Service called Community Living Supports, which provides staffing to individuals so they can live in their own home or apartment independently. These proposed cuts could really interfere with the ability of our state to continue to fund those unique services.
The Mental Health Association also tells me they are concerned about where people will turn if they lose Medicaid coverage, fearing that places like nursing homes aren't fully equipped to deal with certain mental illnesses.
All right, Zach, thank you. Michigan's newest Congressman Tom Barrett voted in favor of the budget bill and says Democrats are fear-mongering. Barrett claims this bill does not call for cuts to Medicaid or Social Security. Instead, he argues it creates a framework for lawmakers to begin working on legislation in the future. Congressman Barrett says he will be involved in conversations about saving and strengthening Medicaid and Social Security in the future. Well, turning now to state politics, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is putting the finishing touches on her State of the State address, which is scheduled to start in less than an hour. Our Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic is here for you tonight with a preview of what we can expect.
When she entered the House chambers for the first time as governor in 2019, the buzz wasn't so much about what she was about to say, but what she wore. Now, she owns a solid national image, and they're talking about her running for president, all within the last 6 years. Quite the political evolution. The governor is coming off a national book tour. Big Gretch was on the national political stage in all the network TV news shows, and she is a household name. For others, all this might have gone to their heads. The governor says, nope. Has that changed you?
I don't think so.
All the stuff that you did, didn't that just a skosh go to your head?
I don't think so.
For the first time in 6 years, in her speech tonight, the governor has a road fix plan for good. She also wants budget cuts and more revenue to get the job done, but will she in the speech use the term tax hike? If she does, she'll join former Governor Jim Blanchard as only the second sitting governor in recent history to use the State of the State to embrace higher taxes. In addition, given all the turmoil in the nation's capital these days, the governor is also worried about the impact on Michigan's economy and the schools and her social programs programs, all of which you'll talk about tonight. One other thing to look for. Last year, the Republicans, on the left of your screen, never stood up to applaud what the governor said. In a new spirit of bipartisan cooperation in this town this year, will the Republicans stand or sit? We'll find out.
Root for the Lions and have a good night.
One thing about the governor, when she ends her speech tonight, she will have received a boost.
I love people. I get energy from it.
Well, the governor's getting that energy. The question is, what kind of headlines will she get with one more SOS to go? Here for you in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
The State of the State address will kick off tonight at 7 o'clock, and you can watch the whole thing in real time on our website, WLNS.com. And then stay with 6 News. We're going to bring you the highlights, expert analysis, and reactions for you tonight on 6 News at 11. Staying in Lansing, a new bill in the state Senate would make sure health insurance in Michigan will cover services performed by pharmacists. That would include giving federally approved vaccinations, qualified laboratory test work, and drugs dispensed by the pharmacist. Similar efforts in the past are meant to help address the shortage of healthcare workers in Michigan. The bill has been referred to the State Senate Committee on Health Policy. A different bipartisan bill was also introduced today to update the rules for what kind of gifts elected officials are allowed to accept from lobbyists. Under this bill, officials would be allowed to accept tickets or reduced price admission to charity events for nonprofit organizations, as well as conferences or educational events focused on matters related to their office. The bill would also provide guidelines for determining the dollar value of gifts that don't really have a direct parallel available for sale. The bill has been referred to the State House Committee on Oversight. Today was the first day of the preliminary hearing for Lee Chatfield, the former Republican State House Speaker who's accused of using nonprofit funds for personal expenses. Prosecutors say those include paying off credit cards and funding lavish vacations to Florida, Las Vegas, and the Bahamas. The charges against him include conducting a criminal enterprise, which is a 20-year felony. His wife is also facing charges, and both of them have pleaded not guilty. The preliminary hearing is set to continue in the coming days, and the judge will determine whether there's enough evidence to send this case to trial. Fire crews were called out to a home near Mason early this morning for an attic fire. The call came in sometime after 2 o'clock on South Every Road in Vevay Township. Our 6 News photographer on the scene reported smoke coming from the attic. Several fire departments were spotted, including Ingham Township, Leslie, and Mason. Investigators are still trying to figure out how the fire started, but tell us everyone was able to get out of the home safely. The Interfaith Shelter in Jackson just got a huge donation from True Community Credit Union. That financial institution will provide $500,000 over the next 5 years to support the shelter's capital project. The goal is to build a brand new facility that will provide families facing homelessness with support services and safe, stable housing. Steve Castle, the CEO of Jackson Interfaith Shelter, says, quote, "Words cannot fully express our gratitude for this incredible gift." Meanwhile, the city of Jackson has approved the sale of the Hayes Hotel property to a new developer out of Ohio. At its meeting last night, the city council approved that sale to the company Collier Gibson for $25,000. The developer plans to renovate the historic 10-story hotel in the city's downtown into a new apartment building with commercial and office spaces. The city sold the property to a developer out of Milwaukee in 2022, but despite multiple extensions, that approval expired at the end of 2024.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, as we're rounding out February, heading towards March, it's a time of the year where you expect warm-ups and cool-downs, and that's really the weather theme over the next week plus. Our long-range temperature outlook shows, in general, temperatures near or slightly above average from the 4th of March through the 8th of March. And then as you look out a little bit further in time, still some mild weather across the central U.S. Our chances of above or below normal temperatures are basically equal, meaning it could go either way. And as you look at the temperature trend, you could certainly see that. We get really mild by Friday, highs in the mid to the upper 40s. Then we get cold this weekend, around 30 or so on Sunday, and then right back in the mid 40s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's the overall trend, although the average high over the next 10 days climbs into the 40s as we're getting more and more daylight. Doppler radar this afternoon continues to show a few raindrops and a few snowflakes mixing in at times. To our west, there is a little more precipitation, so I think we'll continue with at least a chance for some raindrops and snowflakes during the overnight hours. Precision cast then through tomorrow morning. morning. There goes the back edge of that precipitation sliding further east, although there could be arguably a rain shower or snow shower tomorrow, depending on the temperature, but no major problems are anticipated. Thursday night into Friday, skies begin to clear temporarily because there's yet another system to our north. That's going to provide some snow in the UP and northern lower Michigan, but for us, it looks like maybe a couple rain showers Friday afternoon. Nothing major there either, but it will kick up the winds quite a bit, and that's probably the biggest weather complaint the next 6 days is as these systems pass, we can get some wind gusts in excess of 30 to 40 miles per hour. Temperatures this afternoon sitting in the mid-30s, everyone well above the freezing mark. Nothing too cold out there, but not as nice as it was yesterday. As we look out across the state to the north, not really that much colder either. 30s and 40s in the UP, some 50s well to the west. We don't have any 50s in the forecast, but it doesn't look too bad. Skyview Network, some low cloudiness, a little bit of fog trying to form. Temperature 37 on the McLaren cam. Rainfall and snowfall total today was 400ths of an inch, so it was very, very light. In Grand Ledge, looks pretty much the same. Temperature 36 degrees, 600ths of an inch of a liquid equivalent today. Our wind gust up to 10 miles per hour. This afternoon in Jackson, a lot of haze in the air. Temperature, though, at 35 degrees. That was the high. 1,500ths of an inch of precipitation, so a little bit more, at least in the rain gauge in Jackson compared to everywhere else, including Hillsdale, where the rainfall total was 500ths of an inch, and our current temperature is sitting at 35 degrees. Tonight's forecast, overnight low 33 degrees with a few rain or snow showers possible, but again, we don't anticipate any major travel issues. Tomorrow's forecast, a passing rain or snow shower. Temperatures will top out close to 40, a little above average. It'll be a little windier tomorrow, so you'll definitely notice that. The 6-day forecast on Friday, couple showers possible, 20% chance. Rain, snow shower early Saturday, Sunday, partly cloudy but cold, highs near 30. 40s return next week with rain showers Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe cold enough for rain or snow showers next Friday or Saturday.
Okay, but no major systems, relatively pretty easy to get around, you know, plow through.
No heavy rain, nothing you have to shovel, so we're okay.
Yeah, I'd say we're doing okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, David. Well, coming up, Michigan State University.